In a dramatic turn of events that has sent ripples across the global geopolitical landscape, the Kremlin has reaffirmed its commitment to peace, while simultaneously asserting the continuation of its military operations in Ukraine. This declaration comes in direct response to former President Donald Trump's increasingly urgent ultimatums regarding the resolution of the protracted conflict. On a recent day, the spokesperson for the Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov, acknowledged the statements made by President Trump, stating, "We note President Trump's declaration yesterday. The special military operation continues." He further elaborated, "We remain committed to a peaceful process for resolving the conflict concerning Ukraine and ensuring our interests are met." Peskov also pointedly remarked that efforts to restore relations between Russia and the United States had seen a deceleration following President Trump's recent comments. "We would like to see more momentum. We are interested in that. To move forward together, we need impulses from both sides," he emphasized, hinting at a desire for reciprocal engagement. This exchange follows President Trump's initial ultimatum issued on July 14th, which granted Moscow a period of 50 days to agree to a settlement that would bring an end to the conflict with Kyiv. Failure to comply, he warned, would result in the imposition of severe tariffs and other punitive sanctions on Russia and its global partners. At the time, he characterized the 50-day deadline as not excessively long, deeming it sufficient for addressing the conflict. However, by July 28th, President Trump dramatically truncated this timeframe, declaring that Russia now had only between 10 and 12 days to resolve the issue. He asserted that there was no longer any reason to wait, and expressed his disappointment at the apparent lack of progress in Russia-Ukraine peace negotiation efforts over the preceding 2 weeks. The most recent round of talks between Russia and Ukraine, which held just last week, reportedly yielded no significant breakthroughs, with the sole tangible outcome being an agreement on prisoner exchanges. A multi-dimensional analysis. Beyond the headlines, this high-stakes diplomatic dance between Washington and Moscow, with Kyiv caught in the crossfire, invites a deeper, multi-dimensional analysis, venturing into the realm of geopolitical strategy and even speculative theories regarding underlying motivations. The Trump factor, a calculated pressure play or a political ploy. President Trump's sudden and escalating ultimatums raise several intriguing questions. On the surface, his demand for a swift resolution could be interpreted as a genuine desire to end a costly conflict, aligning with his America First foreign policy stance that often prioritizes domestic concerns and seeks to reduce foreign entanglements. His rhetoric suggests impatience with the protracted nature of the war and the perceived inefficiency of traditional diplomatic channels. However, a more cynical interpretation suggests a calculated political maneuver. With a looming election, a decisive move on Ukraine could bolster his image as a strong leader capable of delivering results where others have failed. Is the ultimatum a sincere attempt at peace or a strategic gambit designed to create leverage, not just over Russia and Ukraine, but also over European allies? By threatening severe economic penalties, Trump could be aiming to force a resolution that aligns with his vision, potentially even if it means pressuring Ukraine into concessions or disrupting existing Western alliances that have supported Kyiv. Furthermore, the abrupt shortening of the deadline from 50 days to 10 to 12 days could be seen as a psychological tactic. Such a move, the Kremlin's response, strategic ambiguity and testing the waters. The Kremlin's measured response, acknowledging Trump's statements while reiterating the continuation of its military operation and commitment to peace is a masterclass in strategic ambiguity. On one hand, it maintains the official narrative of the special military operation as a defensive measure to protect Russian interests, a narrative crucial for domestic consumption. On the other, the expressed desire for a peaceful process and a more dynamic relationship with the U.S. suggests an openness to dialogue, albeit on their own terms. Is the Kremlin's stated commitment to peace genuine, or is it a rhetorical device to buy time, consolidate territorial gains, or test the resolve of a potentially new U.S. administration? Their lament about the slowed progress in U.S.-Russia relations could be a genuine concern. Or it could be a strategic complaint designed to shift blame or elicit concessions. The emphasis on needing impulses from both sides hints at a demand for reciprocal concessions, without explicitly stating what those might be. This leaves room for interpretation and allows Moscow to adapt its stance based on future developments. From a conspiratorial viewpoint, the Kremlin's response could be part of a larger, long-term strategy to exploit perceived divisions within the Western alliance, particularly between the United States and its European partners. By engaging or appearing to engage with Trump's proposals, Moscow might be seeking to drive wedges, undermine collective support for Ukraine, and ultimately achieve its objectives through diplomatic fragmentation rather than purely military means. The stalemate in negotiations, a smokescreen or a reality? The reported lack of breakthrough in the latest peace talks, with only a prisoner exchange agreement, reinforces the public perception of a diplomatic deadlock. However, in the shadowy world of international relations, public negotiations often serve as a smokescreen for more substantive, covert discussions happening behind the scenes. Could the public talks be a mere formality, while true progress, or indeed true obstacles, lie in unannounced channels? The rapid shift in Trump's deadline might suggest that he is privy to information not publicly disclosed, or that he is attempting to force the hand of parties who are deliberately dragging their feet in secret. Economic leverage as a weapon. Trump's threat of severe tariffs and sanctions underscores the economic dimension of this conflict. Beyond military and diplomatic pressure, the weaponization of trade and finance can have profound global implications. Such measures could destabilize global markets, impact energy prices, and force nations to choose sides, potentially reshaping existing economic alliances. Is the ultimate goal to force a reevaluation of global supply chains and trade relationships, rather than solely to end the conflict in Ukraine? In conclusion, the unfolding events surrounding Trump's ultimatums and the Kremlin's responses are far more intricate than simple declarations. They represent a complex interplay of domestic politics, international strategy, economic leverage, and perhaps hidden agendas. The world watches, not just for the outcome of the conflict, but for the true motivations and long-term consequences of this high-stakes geopolitical chess match.